It was a spit in the face, at least of mine as a black woman, for you to talk about what white privilege looks like, especially from that side of the aisle. And let me quote your now ousted speaker and what he had to say about the Republican Party and y'all's lack of diversity.
The donor dinner wasn't on any public calendar. That's how Trump world likes it when courting the seven-figure elite. Hidden inside a Manhattan luxury hotel glowing with gold chandeliers and velvet seating, the crowd sipping bourbon wasn't just Republican. These were power brokers, the type who can shift entire elections with a check and a smile. And in the middle of it all stood Ivanka Trump. She'd been mostly absent from her father's campaign, carefully distancing herself from the chaos.
Yet, New York City is unforgiving. In fact, our lives are complicated even during the best of times. And sadly, today, a declining quality of life coupled with economic instability makes it difficult for business to thrive.
But the inner circle believed her polished presence could revive the nostalgia of her White House glow. So they brought her back. They needed glamour, calm, class, the Ivanka brand. She stepped on stage in a cream suit, the room falling quiet with expectation. They anticipated the usual safe lines about jobs and family values. Instead, Ivanka slipped. Midway through her speech attacking Democrats for being unrefined, she veered off script and referenced a viral house moment. With a light, careless smile, she quipped, "I mean, did you see that woman? Jasmine Crockett."
And trying to bring people in and to trust Donald Trump, because obviously when we think about a spouse, we think about pillow talk. And so it's like, well, maybe he's going to be good on this issue. But let me tell you, there's one thing that I believe that the American people are better at, and that is being tricked or fooled.
Ghetto trash in a wig. At first, silence. A hollow, stunned pause. Then a few uneasy chuckles. The kind rich rooms give when they're unsure if they're allowed to laugh. What Ivanka didn't know was that the mic feeding the ballroom was also feeding a private live stream being recorded for donors. One tech clipped it, another leaked it. And within hours, the quote was everywhere. Her words weren't just rude, they dripped with centuries of classism and racial bias in 2 short sentences. Intent no longer mattered, impact did. And Ivanka, the woman who once claimed to champion minorities, had revealed exactly how she saw black women who didn't fit her pristine mold.
Yet the energy and enthusiasm for who should lead this nation, it is real today as it was 4 years ago. I know I speak for my husband and the entire family when I say we have not forgotten the incredible people.
By the time the story reached Jasmine Crockett's office, social media was already on fire. A staffer quietly slid a tablet her way. Crockett read the transcript, blinked once, let out a soft breath, then asked, "What interviews do I have today?" That night on MSNBC, amidst a discussion about congressional spending, the host hesitated before asking if she wanted to respond. Crockett leaned forward, blazer pressed sharp, expression calm. "Let me say this," she began. "I come from a community that taught me to speak truth to power, not kiss up to it. I've prosecuted criminals. I've passed real policy. I've stood toe-to-toe with people twice my size and 10 times as funded. So if someone like Ivanka Trump wants to call that ghetto, then I'm proud of the ghetto that raised me." The room held its breath. And if being ghetto means not apologizing for being smart and black in a room full of people who think money is a personality, then maybe Ivanka should look in the mirror and ask herself how many jobs she earned without her father's name stamped on the resume. No shouting. No insults about appearance, just precision. Crockett dismantled Ivanka's entire persona, the curated poise, the political princess image, the illusion of merit, with a calm tone sharp enough to cut glass. The clip spread instantly. Women, especially black women, filled TikTok and X with their own stories. Hashtags flipped Ivanka's insult on its head. Proud to be ghetto, class without cash, ghetto, and gifted. Editorials hit fast, Ivanka whispered. Crockett roared without raising her voice. Why Crockett's silence was louder than Trump's legacy, and Donald Trump, silent. For a man who fires back instantly at any slight, his absence spoke volumes. Advisors urged Ivanka to release some polite clarification. Anything. She refused. Trump stayed out of it. They both knew Crockett's response was too airtight, too dignified to attack. There was no angle. No spin. Ivanka's silence stopped looking strategic. It started looking like surrender. As days passed, Crockett's influence surged. Her approval crept upward. Donations trickled in. She didn't gloat. didn't post, didn't perform. She let everyone else talk while she stayed composed, and that quiet made her louder than any Trump tweet ever could. Ivanka's brand, once all shine and softness, cracked under the weight of its own hollowness. Her polished exterior couldn't survive Crockett's truth. Class isn't how you speak in a room full of donors. It's how you respond when your mic slip hits the world. Ivanka had nothing to say. Crockett didn't just win the moment.
As I sat and listened to the beginning of this debate, my heart simply broke. And many people know me for being able to do alliterations, and all I could think about was amnesia allows adolescent accountability avoidance, agility from across the aisle. So work with me for a second.
She rewrote the definition of power, proving that real strength doesn't always need volume. Sometimes it just needs clarity. And in that contrast, one woman shrinking into silence, the other rising without lifting her voice, America saw exactly who held the real authority. Jasmine Crockett didn't just defend herself. She exposed the entire architecture of elitism behind Ivanka's words and walked away untouched. Jasmine Crockett didn't react publicly when she first heard the comment Ivanka Trump had made about her. The words "ghetto trash in a wig" had leaked from a private donor dinner in Manhattan, and by the time it reached the public, it had already gone viral. The moment it crossed her desk, Crockett's response was measured and quiet. She read the transcript on the tablet, blinked, and let out a soft exhale. No wild reactions, no impulse to engage on Twitter. She simply asked her staff, "What interviews do I have today?" It was classic Jasmine Crockett. No firestorm on social media, no theatrical press conference, no Twitter threads full of expletives. Instead, she had built a reputation on quick wit and faster comebacks. She wasn't about to dive into the drama Ivanka was trying to ignite. Crockett understood something deeper. This wasn't about a viral soundbite. This was an opportunity to stand her ground and expose the elitism that Ivanka's words had unveiled. She wasn't angry. She wasn't looking for revenge. She was about to throw facts, not punches. That evening, Crockett appeared on MSNBC for a scheduled panel about congressional spending. As expected, the conversation shifted. The host, tiptoeing around the issue, asked if she wanted to respond to the comment allegedly made by Ivanka Trump. The entire studio went silent. Cameras zoomed in on Crockett, capturing the calmness of her demeanor. There was no hint of rage, no deflection. She leaned forward and spoke, her tone controlled, almost surgical. "Let me say this," she began. "I come from a community that taught me how to speak truth to power, not suck up to it. I've prosecuted criminals. I've passed real policy. I've stood toe-to-toe with people twice my size and 10 times as funded. So if someone like Ivanka Trump wants to call that ghetto, then I'm proud of the ghetto that raised me." The studio went quiet again. No one had expected her to respond so sharply, so powerfully, but there it was, a direct challenge to the narrative Ivanka had tried to paint, and she wasn't done yet. If being ghetto means not apologizing for being smart and black in a room full of people who think money is a personality, then maybe Ivanka should look in the mirror and ask herself how many jobs she's earned without her father's name stamped on the resume. There it was, the knockout. Not a shout, not a harsh insult, just the kind of quiet, calculated truth that stopped everything. Crockett didn't have to match Ivanka's venom with more venom. Instead, she held up a mirror, letting the world see exactly who Ivanka was in that moment. A privileged, entitled heir who had never fought for her place in the world the way many Americans had. The panelists were stunned into silence. The host, unsure of how to follow up, gave her a small nod of acknowledgement, but Crockett wasn't done yet. She had no intention of letting Ivanka's comments slide as just a moment of misstep. It was deeper than that. Jasmine Crockett wasn't just defending herself, she was taking on the whole system Ivanka represented. In the eyes of the Trump world, her comment about ghetto trash was likely a quick, offhand joke, something meant to score a laugh from a room full of rich donors.